All right.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to What? Not Another Reselling Podcast with Jack's Treasures. And today we have a special guest, Ray of the Nashville Flippers.
Yes, Ray, go ahead and introduce yourself to the fans who may or may not know you. I love that feature that he has.
It's like just like the whatever it is on the computer or whatever. I don't know like
Very
how I
technical
even
terms
unlock
there, Ray.
Yeah. But yeah, my name is Ray, Nashville Flipper. I live here in Nashville, and I'm a reseller.
Hey,
Part-time reseller. Yeah, pretty much sums it up.
Oh, so you are a part-time reseller.
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah, so I have a full-time job. I'm currently on my lunch break, and yeah, I'm doing this with you guys, which I'm super excited to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Oh,
and
anytime.
I'm looking forward to getting to spend time with you at the end of the month.
We are super excited about that also. Just to let you all know, we did meet Ray last year at the Nashville Meetup, and a lot of people have asked me about that because this is what I wear on every one of my Whatnot shows.
Yeah.
And that is from the Nashville Meetup from last year. I will continue to wear that.
It's his good luck charm.
It is my good luck
Have you seen,
charm.
do you want to see what the new badge looks like?
Oh, yeah.
I would love to. I would love to get in a sneak peek of those.
I'll give you a little sneak peek here on the podcast. So they're currently in production.
Mm-hmm.
And again, they'll be numbered. We have 200 of them. Mm-hmm. So the first 200, the first 200 people to register will receive one. Okay. So I'll let you, let's see.
Oh, there we go. I see it. Let me see if I can get that over there.
So a little sneak peek for all the people. So here's the front of it. So I do want to give a shout out to the sponsors because like Brian, before we got on, Brian was saying that we have possibly like 300 people coming, which is ridiculous. So with that being said, the sponsors that are on here, without them, this would not be possible because I'm not like wealthy by no means. So I do want to give a shout out to all these sponsors that you see on the screen, especially American Bubble Boy, which is like our title sponsor.
Right.
And so shout out to them. So that is the front of the badge. And let me show you what the back of the badge looks like. So the back of the badge is kind of it's a little special.
Oh, I like it.
So,
oh, wow.
If you know that the theme of the meetup is like irises. Mm-hmm. And so that's the Tennessee State flower. This is an iris flower that my sister-in-law drew.
Oh, wow.
For the meetup. And so we'll have a hard copy of this in your swag bag as well. So that'll be on the back of it. And then that's the, you can write your name on there.
That is amazing.
So, yeah.
That is super, super cool right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, we are going to talk a little bit about the meetup, but we're going to first talk about, we have a little question and answer session that we always like to ask our guests. This is a podcast where we focus on the live selling of reselling, whether it be any of the platforms that are out there.
Whatnot, District, Poshmark, Jamble, eBay Live, anywhere
Jamble?
else live.
What's that?
Jamble is it's a very similar site to Whatnot. But not near as large.
And it's based around fashion.
And it's more of a fashion-based one.
Gotcha.
It's still in its, oh my gosh, I think Jamble's been around for maybe a year.
Year and a half.
Like high fashion, like high-end brands?
A lot of mid-range fashion, too.
Okay.
Kind of like Poshmark, but just live selling.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're actually working on trying to get a Jamble seller on our show.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would be interested to hear that for sure.
Yeah, it's really neat because, of course, as well as a lot of folks know, we're definitely Whatnot sellers. We do sell on the District, and actually we got a live show
on
tonight.
The District.
It's called what?
District.net or something.
Yeah, what marketplace do you sell on?
We sell on Shop Commons, which I know Kevin will be at the meetup.
Yeah, that's the wholesale site, right? The wholesale one?
Yes.
But we are doing a show on a new platform called the Dollar Auction tonight.
The Dollar Auction.
Just getting off the ground, and it's everything at $1. So
Yep.
That's a new marketplace called the Dollar Auctions.
Yep.
Who owns that marketplace, or who?
Alicia, the ink picker,
Gotcha.
Resell the Ride.
Corey and Teresa, vintage, Grams and Pops vintage, resell to ride, and Donna and Steven,
Happy
Hearts Treasures.
Gotcha.
Own that.
How can I know? I'm sorry, I'm asking a lot of questions.
No, please.
You're fine.
What I know that you guys just got back from the Planes to Profit meetup.
We did.
Besides your unfortunate illness of gas station glizzies.
God, I'm telling you, I don't know what happened.
You know, well, how did you guys like it?
It was fun. It was interesting compared to, say, the Nashville Meetup, because there were not a lot of, well, there weren't any whatnotters there.
Well, there were two.
Yeah,
there were two.
We met like one other whatnotter and her daughter.
And the funny thing was, I think we were the largest whatnotters that were there. Well, I know we were the largest whatnotters that were there. And so we did have a lot of people wanted to talk to us about live reselling. And
well, I mean, you guys do it consistently for a lot. You guys do it consistently, so you would be great people to ask about that.
But compared to thinking about your meetup, where I know there's going to be just dozens upon dozens of whatnotters, it was different.
And you know what? I've been trying to contact Whatnot, and they've just been like dodging me, and I don't think they know.
I'll drop them. I have a Instagram message that I've spoke to someone before. I'll drop a message. I mean,
I didn't even know that Tracy was a big wig with
no,
Whatnot.
I'm not that big wig. But
well,
they responded last time I wrote. So
yep. But well, the first question that I like to ask, and I had actually talked to Ray about this one time before, is how did you get started into wanting to become a reseller?
I think just by accident, you know, like when I was, I'm 38 years old, but when I was, I guess, younger, like, you know, like I always like collected sneakers, right?
Right.
And so like even like 2006, 2007, like when I really got into collecting sneakers, and I would go when you would like line up to buy sneakers instead of like going online and hopefully like winning a raffle and like all this stuff. You would build relationships with some of the sneaker sell, you know, like the stores, right? And so I would go and like I would collect, because like growing up, like I never had any money to buy like the new Air Jordans or the new, you know, Shaqs or, you know, all that stuff, right? So finally I'm like an adult, right? At 19 or 20 years old, adult.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy all the shoes that I want, that I'm an adult. I got some adult money. And so I would go to these sneaker stores, and I would always buy like one to wear and one to like just to put away, right? And so just by doing that and accumulating so many sneakers, you know, I've always known that like there's like a sneaker market, right? You know, like there's stocks, they go up, they go down, or whatever. And so there was a time to where the reason why I had some put away is that I would like to wear them down the road or sell them down the road, right? And so there was a point to where I needed some money to buy a new car, because the car that I had was just like terrible. It was like an old Impala or something like that, just like a crappy Chevy Impala that I had. And I'm like, all right, I'm gonna sell these sneakers and I'm gonna buy a new car. And I did. So literally the car that my wife currently drives, at the time it was like a year. It's a 2009 Honda Accord, which I sold the sneakers to purchase that car.
Awesome.
And so from there, but the way that I did it is that developing those relationships with the sneaker stores, like at the time, like consignment stores are big, and like reselling sneaker stores have started to become a thing. And so I sold a lot of my bulk to a particular person that wanted to open a reselling sneaker store. And then the rest of it I sold on eBay. And that was the first time I ever sold anything on eBay, was that. And so from that, later down the road, I saw an opportunity for like retail arbitrage through eBay, because I knew that I got my feet wet. And I would go to like the dollar stores and like the Five Belows and find things that are like $1 or $2 that I know that I can sell for like $20.
Right.
And so like I did that all the time, the whole time, like, and it would be like one listing, and then I would just buy, like if it would sell, I would just keep buying it and selling it and shipping it off. And then from there, it wasn't enough money. So I got I would start going to garage sales, and then these Amazon liquidation stores started popping up everywhere in my area.
Mm-hmm.
And so I knew that I could purchase something at $5 with the possibility of selling it for God knows how much, depending on the item that I find. And I've found things I'm trying to think of what the most expensive thing that I've purchased and I sold on eBay that was an Amazon liquidation store. I found these, like, they were like these tablets, but they were like just to call people back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And so one of them, I found two boxes, and in each box had 6 of them. Right.
Oh, wow.
And so in the box was like, I brought it up to the counter thinking that, okay, they're going to charge me for like each individual thing in the box. They just charged me for the box, like $5 here and $5 there. And each of the things sold for like $300 to $400.
Oh my gosh. That's
incredible. So for $10, I like went crazy. But that's how I got the juices flowing. And because it was easy, I would go to like one day out of the week, and find like over $1,000 worth of stuff and just sell it online. And I did that for like the longest time until, I don't know, for me, again, because I'm part-time, and that was the best way to utilize my time.
Right.
To go one day out of the week and sell like big money, because I can go to a garage sale and possibly find $100 item, or I can go to these bin stores, pay $5 for something, and it could possibly be $100, if not more.
That is awesome.
That is phenomenal, because hearing stories on how people start, it's just great to hear. I would have never said that, oh, Ray got started selling sneakers.
Yeah.
My thought would have been Pokemon cards, because I know that you love Pokemon cards.
I love sneakers way more than
electronics.
Yeah. And the electronics are from those liquidation places.
Right.
And right now, things have been drying. Ever since 2020, they've been drying up just because of the cost of everything has gone up.
Right.
So that $5 price point doesn't exist, which I wish I knew about. Well, Whatnot didn't exist when I was first starting, because I would just throw stuff back that I knew, like, I wouldn't buy. Like at the time, I would not buy anything that was over $100 that I knew I can make over $100 off of. Right. Because it wasn't worth my time listing, shipping, and whatnot. Now I look back and I'm like, man, if I could buy those, those gaming headphones and all this stuff that I would have, just accumulated and sold and whatnot, I would have made a fortune.
Well, let's look back to when Whatnot kind of started coming in popularity, like 2020, 2021. You started hearing about Whatnot. What was your initial impression of the platform?
Well, I heard a lot about Whatnot just from other resellers, and I just think that it wasn't for me, just because I'm looking at like the things that I was selling on eBay weren't they were like almost like high dollar items, like over $100 things. That's what I was looking at, the liquidation stuff. But Whatnot actually reached out to me asking to come on to the platform. And just give it a try. And I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. And of course, when they do that, they like help you out. They help you, they hold their hand, they hold your hand and help you along the process. And so from then I saw that, okay, I don't have to buy a DJI drone to be able to make profit off of. And you have to change your mind and perspective on what you're selling on Whatnot, right? You still have to bring good stuff, which I made the mistake early on, is bringing like low to mid tier stuff and expecting it to sell. You still have to bring good stuff that people want. And it doesn't have to be like name brand stuff, as long as people want it.
Absolutely.
Right? Yeah, definitely.
And then just fiddling with that, and then still purchasing the stuff from liquidation stores that I know that I can make a profit off of. And just playing with the numbers the first year, seeing what sells, seeing what not sells, seeing the things that I lost money on, seeing things that I gained money on, and just changing as it goes. Like right now, we're We haven't done a Whatnot show in a long time, just because I'm trying to get this meetup thing off the
I
ground.
can
Right.
understand
And
that.
so,
Yeah.
but with that being said, like again, these liquidation places have been drying up, so I gotta change the way that I purchase.
Hmm.
And I'm either going to, because I have to think, because I do this part time and work full time.
Hmm.
I have to utilize my time properly. I can't be going out every day and
Right.
sourcing. So I either have to purchase pallets from a good source or purchase t-shirt bales from a good source and all that stuff. So it's coming to me instead of me going and purchasing individually. So that's where I'm at right now. And I've purchased some pallets in a couple of places, and you have to be
Hmm.
careful with that because they're in the business to make money. So
Right.
they'll put crap in there and then they'll sprinkle some good stuff on top. But
Right,
then
right, right.
overall, you'll lose money. So I think I'm going to try a t-shirt bale from a company that I've been in contact with to
Hmm.
see if that works well. Because if I can bring the price per item down to like $1 or $2,
Hmm.
and if they sell for $5, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
definitely.
yeah, but if I get like 100-pound bale and there's like 100 t-shirts in there, I'm okay with that because it's t-shirts, it's easy to ship. You can charge free shipping after a while, and people want to, if I were, man, if I mean, I like selling Pokemon cards, but
Yeah, I
yeah,
have noticed.
and
I've
it's
been in your shows when
yeah,
you've
and
done
that's just
breaks, and
I'll um I'll have the temptation to open cards.
Mm.
mhm.
But then it's like, man, I still want to make money, so I'll just like open the cards and sell them, and that way I'm like, two birds with one stone kind of situation.
Right.
In case anybody doesn't know, Ray does have his own YouTube channel, and he does have a podcast that he does. And we're going to talk about that later. But on his YouTube channel, one of the things that I've watched and have been super fascinated with is him going to card shows and doing what I would call the trade up, where he starts at a specific spot and his goal is to get one specific card, and he's literally trading up and trading up and trading up and trading up until he has what he wants to get that one
Yeah.
specific card. And it's really awesome to watch. So we are going to put a link down below to all of Ray's channels, so that you can check him out on YouTube. Because one of the big things is Ray just not just he celebrated about I think maybe a month ago, or was it 2 months ago, that he hit 10,000
Yeah.
subscribers,
I
which
got
is
lucky.
Awesome.
We've been
phenomenal.
working at
Right
it for a
there.
long time. This is not like
Right.
Yeah.
this is like a 4-year endeavor at them, like I mean, we started before 2020, so it's like 5-6 years.
Right.
It's been a very slow burn.
Okay. Now I do want you all to know that Ray does not know this about us. We've been on for about 5 or 6 years, and
No.
we're
We
not
we
even
took a big break
close.
around 2020 just because it's like, which was a huge mistake because that's when like everyone's channel like popped off.
Right.
Right.
We
Except
never
for
put
ours.
any effort into it
Yeah.
until
Yeah.
this year. This year, I made that a resolution that I've been going to try to grow our
Mhm.
YouTube channel, and it's been going well. Now that
Yeah,
I've put
we
the
have
effort in.
we've been our goal is to get 1 or 2 or 3 subscribers per day, and we've been actually meeting that goal.
That's
So
amazing.
it's
Yeah.
it's a good growth. It's what we want. We don't want to go shoot up straight up to the top because we're not ready for that type of a commitment.
You can see our low tech
Yes.
going on here.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
I bet you wouldn't mind if you got shot up to the top, though.
Well, we'll
Right?
make it work.
Yeah.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
We've talked about this on the latest podcast. Is that with the advancements of AI and the way it's
Mhm.
changing like social media, things that are a little more human, if you will, like stuff like that, like holding your phone up and like doing social media, like it's very like not as techy and not as fancy. I think is going to do better like in the long run because that it's like actual people behind it.
Right.
Yes.
I've thought about that too.
Yeah, so it might be to your advantage.
Yeah, I'm really happy with how we're doing it because of the fact that Ray has said that he's, in his 30s. I just turned 60. So for me, it's one of those things where I want to grow and I want to grow and I want to grow, but I want to do what we did last week, which we were on the road for a full straight week. We went up to see Dan and Demand. We saw Lauren and Josiah, Homeschool Mama, and
What was that?
Joe.
It was amazing.
It was great. It was great.
I could have hung
Dan
out
as
with those
funny in
guys.
person as he is on the screen.
Yes,
Exactly the same.
yes, he is exactly the same.
I keep telling, I'm like, dude, come down, and I was like, I will pay for everything. Just get there, you know.
I told him I would drive. I told him, I said, Dan, I'll drive up there and drive back. And he said, you don't want to do that. And I said, Dan, I just drove all the way out here to meet up with you and Lauren and Josiah. Actually, Lauren and Josiah were the perfect hosts. They drove us around everywhere. And we also meted Chris, the bearded thrifter.
Yes.
Which that was just, I did not even expect that. He just happened.
He does live in Indiana. That's right. Yeah.
And so they all took us, and we went to the bins together. We did all this stuff together. It was a lot of fun. So for me, I want to do that as opposed to working a full-time job or working super hard at making the money that we need to make to survive. So I love the fact that you're doing it because of where you're at. I want to see you in like 10 years being that entrepreneur that just is saying, oh yeah, I don't really have to do anything this time, but if I'm going to do it, it's doing it for fun. I'm not doing it for work.
I mean, isn't that the whole point? You know, like people start businesses to be able to have that freedom and hire people to do the work for you. And you can just be like the creative mind behind everything, you know, and the person that like initially invested and took the chance on it, you know, like every CEO that I've ever met has been that person. They're just like a little bit like crazy, you know what I mean? And then like, they just have good people around them to run the business. And I mean, I would, you know, people say, I don't want to get to a point to where it's like, I have a big reselling business. And I was like, yeah, but like you're working all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, I would love to have a warehouse with like 10 people, like packaging and listing and doing whatnots while I'm not even there.
Oh, I can predict you will.
I mean, hopefully that's down the road, but you know what I mean? Like, and then me just be like, okay, like have one person that comes to me, these are the issues, and, you know, solve problems and reap the benefits. Everyone wins, you know, and I can be at home and petting my dog the whole time.
Exactly. Now let me ask you this. What tools would you recommend for somebody that's just getting started to do live reselling, and they're doing it for the first time? What do you recommend for them?
What tools?
Tools and platforms, or how would they go about
live selling? Like I mean, I like Whatnot just because of the big corporation that it is, and just the money that they're putting behind for it to become successful. And I would give that a try. They do a very good job of like, if you want to do tests, whatnots, and, you know, all that stuff. And then if you know people that also do it, to help, you know, ask them if they could help you and like rate into you or something like that.
The community is incredible.
Yeah.
If you need something, they're there for you.
And then from there, like if you want to learn beforehand, you know, there's plenty of YouTube videos. My number one watched YouTube video, my top two most watched YouTube videos is me of literally recording my first show ever. And then at the end of that show, I even do a fee and profit breakdown, and I have like a spreadsheet.
Wow. Yeah.
So eventually I want to do another fee and profit breakdown on Whatnot, and then sell the spreadsheet, and then people can download it, you know. And then my second one is 7 tips I wish I knew before starting Whatnot. And I mean, great tips, you know, just a little shameless plug there. But
this is what this is all about, just letting you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, just look at what's going on. Just like if you're starting eBay or anything else, do your research first, but don't get scared and just try it. Like, don't be afraid of doing it. Just try it. And if you don't like it, you don't like it. You don't have to be like committed to it. And of course, one of the things that you guys do very well is being consistent on the platform, because that's going to, you know, really pay dividends in the long run when you're having like big shows, like with big ticket items and stuff like that. So
yeah, that's one thing I always say. If somebody really wants to grow, just get on there. Even if you're just doing a short 10-minute raid train, or you're getting on and doing a community show, just be on the platform, and
be on the platform.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yep. You're not going to sell on that platform if you're not live on that platform. The static listings on there, you can do that, but they're just not there. That's not what that platform is set up
I
for.
really like the new flash sale feature that they have.
That is fun.
Yes.
We did a flash sale raid train a few weeks ago.
Really?
It was,
how did that go?
Amazing. We did well.
Yep.
So you had one item of multiple quantities, and then you just ran it for one money, and
then we switched to the next one.
I think that's amazing.
It was
the
fun.
only thing that I wish Whatnot could change that District does well with this is like for like the t-shirt battles and co-hosting.
Yes.
That whoever is selling whatever they're selling needs to be going to that person. Does that make sense?
Oh, definitely.
They need to fix that like really quick.
Well, you are talking to somebody who right now in 2025, every single month we do a new graphic t-shirt battle that we took up from the graphic t-shirt battle from last year that you were in. On Paul's team, we were on Jen's team, and we took that idea and we just do it with us. So it's just me, and I take challenges from anybody else that's on Whatnot, and we run a battle, and we only do it one a month.
One time.
So right now I'm undefeated.
But wouldn't it be nice that you have the other person, like they run the shirt and they get the money?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, because
doing the work after the show is kind of
it's insane. It's so dumb. So I wish they would fix that.
Does have that down pat. From what I understand, Whatnot had it at one time. And they ran it through a beta program, and then they said, well, we need to tweak it, and they just haven't been able to bring it back yet.
Gotcha.
I think Whatnot, one of their biggest things that they're doing is they want to roll out stuff that is helping the sellers, and they want to roll it out so that they don't have issues with it. So they give it that test. They give it that test. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. And if it doesn't, they say, "Oh, let me try to change it."
Well, looking to the future, what do you see? What improvements and changes do you see in live selling over, say, the next year? What do you think is going to be?
A lot of people say that live selling is the future. We're not attesting to that at all. We're just saying it's part of it. But what do you think? What's your take?
I mean, you look at all these Asian countries and live selling is like there to stay. You know what I mean? So I think with the way that like people's attention span is like leaving, like I think like live selling is a way to like, I would say it would become more popular, but this was brought up on the podcast that we recorded the other day. Static selling is always going to be a thing, because if I'm like literally my dog chewed up my remote from my television the other day. And so it's like, I need to get a new remote. So I'm going to go on eBay to find the same remote model number for my TV. I'm not going to go on Whatnot and hopefully find that remote somewhere randomly on someone's show. Right.
Correct.
So that's the reason why I think static selling is always going to be a thing, which, eBay has the eBay Live and they're slowly rolling that out. And like people sell stuff like I know a person that sells Pokemon cards on TikTok. And what he does is that he'll go live on TikTok. He has he has a link to his Shopify store. And so like people go on there and they buy a pack. And then he sees the confirmation go through, and then he opens it live on there.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know what I mean? And so there is live selling. What's that?
You can give him a shout out.
I don't know I forgot the name of it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's just like, I don't know, like I met him like over a couple weeks ago, like at a show, and he was telling me about it.
Okay.
And I'm like, man, that's interesting. And like there's auctions on YouTube where people, they put a bid in, but then you have to do like our friend Angie Resell. She has a auction every Saturday, but she has to do all the work behind the scenes and like invoicing people and like looking. But if you have a Shopify store set up, of course you'll have the fees and stuff taken out through there. But I don't know, like people just like to buy stuff. You know what I mean?
I think in a way of like the static selling, like on eBay, that's you're going to the grocery store. You're getting what you need. You're getting what you have in your mind. Whereas live selling is like going to the mall. You're hanging out with
like
friends,
entertaining.
seeing what's out there,
Mhm.
Oh, look at that. I didn't know I needed that, but let's take that home.
You still remember what malls are, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Well, there are some malls that are thriving. We saw a couple of them on our way, and we've been to some of them that, yeah, they're probably going to be going by the by pretty soon.
Yeah.
But I think brick and mortar stores are here to stay. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but or at least for my lifetime, they will be here. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what does the future hold for live selling with the Nashville Flipper? Is he going to be getting back on
Well,
doing more
once this meetup
consistently?
is done, we'll jump back on there. We still have some inventory that we need to go through, and again, we're looking at some different opportunities to source that are more convenient and
Mhm.
being able to just order stuff, it come to the door, and maybe just taking road trips and buying pallets of stuff and just bringing it back like once a
If
month.
you start getting those t-shirt bales coming in, maybe we'll have to sign you up for one of our
Yeah,
t-shirt boxes.
let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would be a blast. All right, so that was our question and answers for Ray. Ray, we definitely appreciate that. We're going to talk about some of the pros and cons because on our channel, I don't want people to sit here and say, "Oh, they're only talking about the good stuff that happening, the good stuff that happens on whatnot." So, or live selling in general. One of the things that we have found is what do you think the biggest benefit that you have found in live reselling?
the biggest benefit would be just making really quick money, like the turn
Yes.
and burn, if you will. But
Hmm.
with that being said, what you alluded to a little, like the bad side of it is that, like, okay, I just sold 100 things on this show. That's amazing.
Hmm.
But now I have to ship 100 things on the
Yep.
show.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And it's like, that sucks, and like organizing everything, like people don't think about all the work that you have to do beforehand. And of course you can simplify everything.
Hmm.
And if you don't have like a good structure, it could be a lot of work,
Oh, it can
and some
be
people aren't willing to make that work. They're not willing to do the work, which is like, okay, what are we doing? If you want the money, you got to be able to do the work.
Mhm.
You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
sell
So
the
it's like, if you
item
don't
and
want
use
to do the
the
work,
item.
you're not going to do the money. You won't need the money. So
Yeah, definitely. That quick burn gets your inventory out of there. You got to ship it, move it, and move everything along. That's a lot of what he was saying is the same with static selling. If you sell something, you do have to ship it. That's one of the big things with it. Now, live selling, Ray was talking about the quantity, that it's not unheard of to be shipping 100 items,
Mhm.
200 items.
yeah,
That's very common
We've done
on
long
those.
shows and shipped, I think 130 might have been our top number of items, but
Yeah.
it's something.
it sucks,
Now,
but I mean, people, nowadays you don't become a millionaire by selling a Coca-Cola for $1 million. You become a millionaire by selling 1 million Coca-Colas for $1.
that's
Right.
You know what I
correct.
mean?
Yep, definitely.
That kind of leads us to the con we were going to talk about is that some people talk about there being a reduced sale price when you're selling live selling versus static selling. What's your feeling on that?
I mean, it also depends, because you might have a reduced sale price on an item, but then the other item goes for more than what it's worth. So
Right.
I think it kind of equals out. And if you bring good stuff, it should run for good money. But there is some, but you need to build that audience to get there, right?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, I've sold a DJI drone for $450
You did.
I
on
You
remember
Walmart.
did.
that.
I was
That's
actually
You know
in
what I
your
mean?
show. I was in your show when you
So
did it.
it's
I was
not like
watching and I'm going, whoa.
We've
It's-
sold some high dollar video game stuff that went for right at eBay prices. And
yeah.
If
So
not more.
it's, there is that possibility. But if you're not comfortable, like, if you're not comfortable for selling an item for a certain price, you need to sell it for like your bottom dollar, what
Right.
you're comfortable selling it for. If you're not comfortable selling it for less than that, then don't sell it at that price. You set the price, you set the market.
Exactly.
Which I think that's another, like, one of the mistakes that people make in the beginning, is that they have to sell everything for $1. but you're
Right.
like conditioning your audience to start stuff at $1. That means that the value of the items that you're selling isn't worth more than $1, if not around there.
And
Right?
that's something we struggle with even now. It's like, do we want to do those dollar starts
Yeah.
or do we want to start it higher? And
So
we
it's
go
like the
back and forth all the time.
conditioning of the people that's like, oh man, they're bringing this stuff and it's this much. But of course, if you have like 100 people in your show, you can start at $1 because it's not going to sell for $1.
Right.
You know, like people know.
Right.
But if you have like 10, 15 people, like start it again of what you're comfortable with selling. Like you're not going to sell, I don't know, like I'm trying to think, like a box Super Nintendo video game system for like start at $2 because it might sell for $2 if nobody wants it. You know, you never know.
Exactly. You got to judge the room. You have to get a good
Yeah.
feel for the room, and that just takes time and doing shows.
Mhm.
Our next segment is called Time to Shine. Time to Shine is when we talk about 3 sellers on Whatnot, and it's mainly on Whatnot because that's where we are at, but we are going to be doing other platforms as we keep going. And we talk about 3 levels, different levels of sellers.
So we're going to start with a newer seller. This is someone, I actually met them on Instagram and then started following them on Whatnot. It's Drifting Drifters. Her name's Krista. She sells a lot of vintage. She sells a lot of jewelry. And right now she's at 850 followers and 274 sales. And she has tons of shows ready for you to bookmark. And I can assure you, you will have a good time in her shows.
Yeah, she's very, very good at a selling. Have you ever heard of Drifting Thrifters?
I have not.
Well, there we go.
Drifting Thrifters.
Drifting.
Drifters.
Drifting.
Yes.
Drifting.
Yeah, Drifting Thrifters. Very, very nice lady. Very, very nice lady. I'm pretty sure you've heard of them. Our next spotlight. Our next spotlight person is called Nikki's Corner. Nikki's Corner is run by Nikki, of course. She's based in South Florida, Tampa area. Nikki has over 5,000 followers, and she is over 6,000 in sales. She is the co-host of the Primetime Spotlight Ray Train on every Sunday with Paul the Philly Flipper. And she absolutely adores ducks and Jeeps. And she will be at the Nashville Meetup in April, at the end of April. And she sells mostly in garage sale category, glass, and the storage unit category. And I'm sure Ray has heard of Nikki's Corner.
Correct.
Yeah.
And then our larger seller is someone else that we just found out is going to the Nashville Meetup, and that's Flipping Mimi, Texas. Her name is actually Kara, and she's got 34.2 thousand followers and 142,000 sales on Whatnot. She mainly sells Disney. She does a lot of like cutesy stuff, Loungefly, and she does a regular community show, just helping out the community. And she's incredible. She really is. I know you're not as familiar with her, but once you meet her in Nashville, you're going to be hooked like the rest of us are. I assure you.
Yeah, very supportive.
I tend to be in like my own little like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
Like I have to do my own thing, you know, unless somebody like communicates with me. I'm just like I'm completely like oblivious to what's going on around.
It's gonna be something, yeah.
It's going to be something because these people are all coming to the meetup too, which is just going to be amazing. I don't know about Krista. I do know that Nikki and Kara are both going to be coming to the meetup. So those are 3 of our spotlighted or time to shine Whatnotters. Give them a chance. Give them a check out. There'll be a link down below so you can check out all of their sites also and link right straight into them.
This week on the What's New on Whatnot segment, we're going to talk about the customer service program, which is where Whatnot is working on switching from handling all the customer service themselves to giving the sellers the ability to do it. It's under beta right now. We are one of the beta people, and we're actually really excited about it because if something goes wrong, giving us the ability to handle it instead of having to go back and forth with customer service bots to get things resolved is amazing to us, to give our customers that higher level of support.
Yeah. And I don't know about Ray, but for us, I do not like if a customer comes to us that my response has to be, we'll go ahead and talk to Whatnot.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
You love that
I'm
part?
like, they'll take care of it. It's like, here's
They
the,
will.
We don't have a lot of issues, but
No.
most of them have been, if there was an issue, it was our fault. So I want to be able to fix it. It
Yes.
wasn't. Now, if it's somebody who's coming at me with something crazy, I would love to push that over to whatnot. But if I left something out of the box or something broke because I shipped it poorly, I want to fix it. I would rather fix it.
For us, it's those ones that come in and they say, well, I accidentally bid on this item. I said, yeah, you accidentally bought it too.
I'll give you a perfect example of an item that I had to do that with.
Mm-hmm.
Is that drone. The drone, when the person received it, the remote for the drone was linked to a different drone.
Oh,
I remember this. Yes.
And so he's like, and I'm like, man, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, I looked up like a couple YouTube videos to maybe like fix it. And I sent it to him and he's like, yeah, it's not working. I was like, well, let me contact DJI, see what they say. I had to submit like a company letterhead that I like sold it to him and like all this stuff. And like, they would unlock it to go towards the new one. So it was a lot of work, but like that communication, like back and forth, because it was like a huge sale,
right.
I'm sure Whatnot wouldn't have done all that if it was just like, if I would have just said, well, you need to have Whatnot handle it.
Now I'm pretty sure Whatnot would have probably just given them their
the
money back.
But he wanted the drone.
It would have been a nick on your account.
Yeah.
And that was not what you want. You don't want that, because that's something that we want to fix. Also, Whatnot, and Ray and I were talking about this earlier before we started recording. Whatnot is sponsoring meetups now. And one of the ones that they just did was down in Florida this past weekend with Paul, the Philly Flipper. They hosted a Whatnot, from what I understand of talking to Paul and to Nikki, or mainly to Nikki, is that it went off very, very well. There was well over 100 people at this Whatnot meetup, and it was just a great time. It was held by all.
If someone from Whatnot happens to watch this, contact Ray.
There you go, right there.
Get in touch with him.
My boy Ray over there.
There'll be tons of Whatnotters there.
Yeah, that I'm telling you, this would be the opportunity for Whatnot to really take advantage of the fact that you have a large group of people, and it would.
They're sleeping. Awesome. They're missing the ball. Like even eBay is helping with.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, if you need anything from us, we're going to be out there on Thursday. If you need some help.
Oh, I'm going to definitely be utilizing you guys for doing stuff.
Do anything that you guys need. If you need people to go to the airport to pick up other guests,
whatever you need.
I'll have my truck, and we're willing to help. We're willing to help. A lot of people don't know this, but Ray hosted the meetup last year. And we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon because I want Ray to be able to enjoy his lunch break. He hosted the meetup last year, as we talked about, this one right here. And this changed Tracy and I's whole business, everything. And it was because of us going to this meetup that he hosted. I had known nobody of Whatnot, nobody of YouTube, nobody of nothing. I stayed in my own little niche, even more so than Ray was talking, because I didn't do anything. I didn't care about anybody else. I could care less. I didn't raid. I didn't know anything about raiding. Nobody knew anything about raiding. We go to the meetup, and I had surgery the day of the meetup. So literally we went to the meetup. I did meet Ray at the meetup. We talked, shook hands for a little bit. He literally looked at me and said, "Who the hell is this guy? I don't know him. He's not.
I did not say that at all.
This man is whatever. Oh, thanks for coming." But he was very gracious. And it was very hard to just get 2 seconds of Ray's time, because there were so many people there and everybody wanted to thank Ray. And Ray was really gracious. Then he had all of these events plans, which we didn't do any of those because of the fact that I was whacked out. And
he
so,
was whacked out.
Yeah, I was completely.
I took a whacked out man to yard sales all over Nashville. It was fun.
We did. We went to the southern part of Nashville, so there was no other resellers around. So we had like the pick of the litter. And then we were leaving, and we met Paul, the Philly Flipper, which is part of Ray's circle of friends. Is Paul, the Philly Flipper. And he asked us to be on a raid train. My response was, I don't even know what a raid train is. He puts us on there. Everything was great. But it was absolutely the best thing. And I always want to thank Ray. I absolutely love Ray. I can't wait to meet his family. I know that he has a dog. I know that his wife is around. His brother, Dusty is his brother.
Dustin and Tim, my brother-in-laws. Yeah.
And Tim's brother. And I just can't wait to meet them. I hope that
I've kind of determined it's like our goal in life to meet as many reseller dogs as possible. That's
really
our thing. We're meeting the reseller dogs.
Yeah, we definitely are doing that. So it is great though, but definitely go to these meetups, because the only reason why we went from 1,000 followers to we are now just over 7,000 followers in 1 year. We were on Whatnot for 2 years before that.
You guys were on Whatnot before you even came to the meetup.
Oh,
yeah, we were on Whatnot for 2 years before that. And
really?
We had sales. We had about 6,000 sales, 1,000 followers.
But we had no community.
We had no community whatsoever. We didn't communicate with anybody else.
We just got on and sold our stuff.
And we sold a lot of stuff. We sold a lot of stuff really, really fast.
But it was not fun.
No. 2 weeks ago, we had a show 20 minutes on Paul's Raid Train. In 20 minutes, we sold over $1,000. And we started everything off at $1 too. We were talking about the dollar starts, but you could do that when you have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And our last segment, we always like to do Turn the Table, and we allow you to ask us a question if there's anything you would like to ask us about Whatnot, reselling, or just in general.
I think I've been asking you guys questions all throughout, but I'm curious. I do have 2 questions. Okay. I know, and I'll probably start with this one. So I know that you were sick during the Planes to Profit meetup, but what was like the most fun thing that you guys did that you enjoyed? Just so I know, like maybe we can implement that to our meetups or our meetup, maybe like in the future, or some things that you did not work, like things that you enjoyed or you saw. It's like, maybe this didn't work as much as they would have hoped.
Well, I would say the absolute most fun thing is probably something that would not work in an event at your size. And we went on a thrift bus. We all got on a bus and we hit thrift stores.
A party bus.
Unless we have like 40 of them.
Right.
You know what
exactly.
I mean?
It was a ton of fun. But there were a lot of great events. When I got to go live with Mike Metco right on the meetup, that was super fun. And just a lot of the just downtime, sitting around in the hotel talking to people.
Yeah, in the hotel lobby was a lot of fun. At breakfast, we would just sit down and chat for hours with other people and learning things. So
I think that's the best part of meetups. It's like not necessarily like doing the things that you like, all the activities, but just the downtime to really like pick someone's brain. That's the best. I think that's the best part.
And I think that's what I would say is the only rough parts. Or sometimes those dinners, they get to be a little bit much.
Oh, it's a lot.
80 people in a restaurant, and you don't even get to.
But it would be that's just like
the restaurant.
Yes,
the opening of like, hi, my name is Brian. Like going up and meeting somebody. I would love to like maybe have a conversation with you like later on, and then like opening that door, like if you're free, or just around.
And probably the downside for me was the fact that there were so many people when we did have to go to dinners or we did have to go to other places. The bus from the hotel was very inadequate. You're trying to put 30 people into a bus that would normally handle about 15 to 10.
They just needed a bigger bus.
They did.
Yeah. And we ended up walking. We got
fun.
back faster to the hotel walking from the restaurant. We walked back from the restaurant to the hotel and we beat the bus by about a half an hour. And we were not like running, because me, Ray. I'm like, I'm just gonna walk.
Dude, I'm right there. I'm with you. I always tell my wife, I'm like, if you see me running, you better start running too.
I told him that's to me a benefit of the Nashville meetup is that we're kind of out in the suburbs. So we can take our car places. Whereas we were downtown Omaha trying to drive our big old truck in the little downtown streets. That wasn't happening.
Yeah. I have a truck too. So it's like, whenever we go downtown and we drive the car, because it's like, you just can't fit anywhere.
No, the parking spaces are for like little cars. And I was like,
and we're resellers. So we need to just
Exactly.
throw crap back there. And yeah, so.
And what was question number 2?
Question number 2 was, I know that you guys have recently been exploring purchasing storage units. So a lot of them. And how has that been going? And like just like selling it, or like what percentage are you selling on like Whatnot, and what percentage are you
Well,
putting on
it
stuff
depends
on
on the
eBay?
unit.
That's a great question too, by the way.
We
I
bought a
appreciate
unit
that.
in December that I would say like 90% of that unit went straight to Whatnot. It was very pop culture oriented, and it just it fit that live selling platform to a T. Now this last unit we bought,
That's the one. I remember seeing you guys live on Whatnot, going through
it's
the unit,
rough.
and I was like,
It's
"Wow,
rough.
this thing
It's
is
been a rough
packed."
one.
I mean,
is.
we're in the profit already, or 100% in the profit, but there's a lot of vintage, there's a lot of trash, and
there's a lot of shipping boxes. We literally sold shipping boxes on Facebook Marketplace
because there were too
today.
many for us.
Because
Well,
there
like
was
the
too many.
USPS free shipping boxes, or just like
No, no,
like
just
from Uline.
From Uline. Like I sold 64 of these Uline boxes.
They were an awkward
that
size.
were an awkward shape, and I don't have the space to store them in our facility. So I was like, I got to sell these. So we sold those. But doing storage units is a lot of fun, and I will let you know we are sourcing with our storage unit purchases for Whatnot.
Yeah.
We're not sourcing as much for eBay because Whatnot allows us to go through those things, and we were talking about earlier, gives me that turn and burn, and where I don't have to store the stuff, I don't have to keep the stuff, I can flip it, and then I can go buy another storage unit. So,
and sometimes we're able to give bargains to other people that they can then resell. I mean, I love getting those messages from Apex Jeff saying, "I bought this from you for $5, and I sold it for $50." Okay, great.
He's like our best customer.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. But he sends me pictures of stuff that I think he bought from you, and he sends them to me, and I'm like, you didn't get that from me, Jeff. And so he would say, oh, I got that one from Ray. I apologize. I said, no worries. And he says, but look, you missed the boat on this one. I said, I didn't miss the boat. Believe me when I tell you, I'm into profit way before I sell that stuff, because I will sell stuff at a cheaper price, but it's
because you think of like, by the time you're taking your item, taking it out, cleaning it, taking the pictures, and then hopefully it sells in a good amount of time, and then shipping it, you could have sold maybe like 40 other things at that time. You know what I mean? So it's like, get it in, get it out, get it in, get it out,
Yep.
It takes that space away too, because if I'm storing something in that space and I need that space when I get that storage unit, I got to do something with that item. So turn and burn, I don't need to worry about his space as much.
I know Ray's got a split on us here. He's a very busy person, but we want to go ahead and mention all of his ventures. He is on Whatnot as the Nashville Flippers.
Link down below. Make sure that you check that out. Electronics, Pokemon, graphic T-shirts,
a little bit of everything.
Soon. There you go.
He has his weekly podcast, This Week in Reselling, which he does with Brendan of Big Time Flips, Joe, I'd flip that, and Kristen, a Rural Squirrel.
And that is a fantastic podcast, guys. You want to learn and you want to laugh, you want to enjoy yourself.
We just had Kevin on the podcast again.
Oh, that's awesome.
So talking a little bit more about DibDit and District and just clearing the air on some things. So.
Yeah, there's been some drama, a little bit of
drama.
So
we tried to stay a little bit out of all of that,
especially when you like everybody on both sides.
Yeah, exactly. And he wanted to be on, and he contacted me. I was like, let's do it.
Kevin, if you see this, you're welcome. We'll
there you go.
Yes. Also, Ray is co-host to something known as the Monday Night Draft.
Yes.
By the way, just letting you know, Brian is still waiting for the next Monday night freaking draft. Okay, I knew watching this.
I knew this was going to happen. That once we took a break, it would be hard to be back on. So
yes.
Well, I hope it does come back when y'all have some free time. I know y'all are all super busy, but we do miss it because it was a lot of fun.
And I love watching it just for the sheer entertainment value of that.
Of him yelling that, oh, that's a terrible pick. That's a terrible pick.
Or me talking about Ray's pick of one of his favorite summertime activities is to be sitting next to a bonfire.
Yeah.
Like, it is 100 degrees outside, and Ray wants to sit next to a 3,000 degree
Yeah.
fire. I was
Bonfire.
like, oh my god.
And finally, he is the host of the Nashville Reseller Meetup, which we have mentioned before. It is at the end of April. If you want information, we're going to tag that down below, or drop me a PM, because I have sent so many people the link to the Facebook page.
She is. Well, that was not the finally one.
Who was the person that you approve or told me to approve? That guy's crazy.
The
Jelly
Gummy
Man?
Man.
Gummy Man.
Gummy Man?
Awesome.
I'm like, who is this
man.
guy? This guy's insane.
He's like
He
Brian's
is.
like twin flame or something.
I was
He
like,
he's
who
Brian
is
all
this?
over again.
Who is this degenerate that Tracy asked me to?
You're going
He
to
is
love
awesome.
him.
I love Kenneth, and he's actually doing a whatnot show at the meetup.
Massive giveaway show.
Massive giveaways. Like, he's good. I think he's up to like $500 or $600 or $800 in giveaways he's doing on this one show that he's
and he's
got.
gonna be doing that Saturday night. So
Yep.
that may be what I'm helping with, instead of going to downtown because we're old.
Oh, you guys got to come. What time are you guys going to be there? Or when do you guys get there?
We're gonna be there on
We're going to be there on Thursday, and we'll probably be there around noon. And then we're going to stay till Sunday, and we'll probably leave later in the day on Sunday.
Yeah.
But I do want to say one other thing, that Ray is a video game college football extraordinaire.
I need to get back on it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the next game. I will let you know, I might be the only person who.
Here's the thing. You know what's funny?
Not only do I watch it on the biggest TV that we have in our house. I'm watching this.
What's funny about that?
I was open.
I just bought a new TV because my TV like broke.
Oh,
right. And so I had to buy a new one. So I went and I bought like a really good one. Right.
Right.
And so like I usually, you know that I'm like, I'll have my game system here because it's like hooked up to the computer and like doing all this stuff. Right.
Right.
And so I'm like, I just got this new TV. I'm gonna go play some games on. So it's in the living room. But I can't record while I'm there and do those, so I would have to move it, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. Maybe I'll buy like another PlayStation just so I can have that one there and have this one here.
Because I do know that we're in the second or third
like round of the playoffs. I know.
Yeah,
I know. I'm going to get back on it. I'm going to do. I need to do it.
Well, Ray is super, super busy. Ray, thank you for your time. We're going to let you have the closing remarks. And then we are going to end the recording.
We are working on a guest for next week. I'm not going to drop the name because I'm not 100% sure we're going to get her, but she is one of my dearest online reselling friends.
Yes.
I love it.
So, Ray, you have the floor, my friend.
Brian, Tracy, thank you so much for inviting me. Make sure you like, share, subscribe this page, this YouTube channel. And that's all I got. My name is Ray, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Bye.
Bye.